Hey there! So today we have another review, and this is that time of the year. It is celebrations here in Nevada. This just hit my markets. This was canned, geez, a month ago? A month ago. It possibly could have hit the shelves last week, so it could have been 3 weeks fresh. But then again, I actually don't know what happened to Mills River location. I know Asheville got hit really bad. Unfortunate from Hurricane Milton. I just saw some pictures of, breweries just demolished, businesses, homes. It was really bad. So sorry to the Asheville breweries and other businesses and people and homes and affected by Milton. That was really rough. So I don't know where this came from. It says, obviously could be from Chico or Mills River. So yeah, let's see. Well, actually, this would have been canned before the storm, right? Yeah. Okay, so whatever. But then that also affects distribution, right? I'm sure canning, whatever, who knows? It's a month fresh, so beer comes in, classic beer. Beer comes in a really nice, beautiful, light amber color, this kind of ruby hue to it, nice clarity to it. Yeah, they filter and centrifuge their beers. It's a pretty looking kind of red ale kind of thing to do, right? That kind of traditional. Yeah, IPAs don't look like this anymore, but yeah. That's what I remember. It's pine cones, a little bit of earth, a little bit of light citrus, grapefruit peel. A little bit of this kind of biscuity, kind of caramel, caramel candied sweetness. But yeah, just resin, pine, sugar. Cheers. Have quite chilled. Yeah, that's just exactly what I expected, right? I drank a good amount of this beer last year. I think, that's what it was. I went to Total Wine, couldn't find 6-packs, so just bought a 12-pack and just went through that. This year, I went to GB, actually, where I buy my singles. But instead of buying the overpriced, obviously the mart, they charge you extra if you only buy a single. Instead of buying that, I was I'll just buy the 6. And instead of looking for the 6 at the store, just spending your money at the local beer store, right? I could have spent money at Total Wine or whatever. Spent it at a local store. So got a 6-pack of it. Wasn't that cheap. I don't know how much it cost for you guys. I think it was 14, but then again, they just could be just a little bit more expensive because they're a boutique local store. I suspect the price is more 12 or 13 at your supermarket or Total Wine or something like that. On the palate, opens up with bitterness, pine, earthy, resin, solid bitterness, medium plus a full bitterness, a little bit of that kind of balancing, sugary crystal malt thing, that kind of caramel sweetness. There's a little bit of pithy grapefruit in here as well. And almost this weird kind of green bitter asparagus-y kind of thing. It's not a normal call that I take, but I can sort of see it. The bitterness is long and it has this green hop character to it. So I think almost leaning towards this kind of green vegetable thing going on, which who'd ever call asparagus on a Sierra Nevada celebration, but I sort of get that. Still with some of these beers, a little bit of this kind of piney, soapy, floral thing. Yeah, there's a little bit of this echoing kind of potpourri kind of thing going on. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. Balancing malt character, pine, earthiness, resin, a little bit of vegetal kind of bitterness thing going on. A solidly bitter beer, 6.8%. Wow, drinks really good for 6.8. This beer really drinks more 6.65. So it's pretty much a 7% full strength beer. It doesn't drink it. Again, I really like that. I really feel more beer should be like this, in this kind of color. Granted, I understand the crystal malts are oxidative, and it really doesn't really allow the beers to last long. And people are trying to express hops instead of covering them up with malts. But I think the variety's there, and it's nice having this balancing malty OG sweetness. And the beer's really not that sweet, but you get a balancing malt character that you just sort of I associate so much with like Sierra Nevada these days, because if it's not this beer, it's pale ale or torpedo, right? Like everything's now lean, clean, mean. And it's nice to have a little bit of chew and a little bit of malt complex. But I will say, it's sort of necessary, because some of these Sierra Nevada beers are just very bitter. Like, this is a bitter, bitter beer. And I wouldn't want it stripped down to be so pale, because they would have to change its IB. You know, like, they would have to change the recipe, because how bitter this beer is only works because of, like, how much malt is in behind this beer. And it's not a lot. It's not a ton, but it's definitely there. So, fantastic, classic. It's so good. I drink a ton of this. Just the high repeatability of this guy is insane. 90, 95. Sierra Nevada Celebration. Like, that's why, you know, like, I'm sitting here now, like, I did a video literally, like, I don't buy 6-packs. I don't buy, you know, I do singles to review for you guys. But I'm happy to have a 6-pack of this. It only comes out once a year, and I'm going to want to come back to this and just, like, chill out. It's like, wow, good beer. Sometimes you want to sit down and get good beer and not do a review. Like, not every beer I need to drink has to be a review for you guys. It's nice to return to a beer. It's like, oh yeah, I have another one of those, and I could just enjoy it. Right? So, 95 cheers.